Welcome to week 12 of NFL football, and today is the most important game, I think, of the season so far because we have the Cleveland Browns facing the Las Vegas Raiders, and this game is not important on paper or by stats, but Shedeur Sanders is making his debut, and that is the only reason why this game is the biggest game of the year, to me at least, and I think it should be important to you as well if you're Shedeur fans. Let's check it out. This is going to be a very quick video because I want to talk about my expectations or what I'm looking at in terms of how I think the Browns overall will perform, and then what I think the expectations that I have for Shedeur today will be. So let's just quickly dive right into it. So for the Browns, I expect that the Browns defense is going to continue to dominate. I think they're going to be making plays to be able to get the offense the ball and get the offense back on the field. I expect Myles Garrett to show up in a big way, just like he did last week, having 5 sacks. I'm not sure how many sacks he'll have in this game. I think at least 2, because the Raiders defense the Raiders O-line is not that great. And I think just the way that Myles Garrett has been playing, he is going to show up today and he is going to make a statement, because on the other side is Max Crosby. And I think when you have two, really good pass rushers going against each other, they like to show each other up. So I expect that Myles Garrett is going to have an upper hand in this matchup. I also expect from the offense that the Browns offense, they're going to feel confident and energized, because those receivers are now going to have a quarterback that can give them tight throws in small, tiny windows. I think they have an accurate quarterback, and that's going to help in ball position and where he can put it, and where Shedeur can put it and where he expects that the receivers will be able to get it. And I also think that they have a quarterback who is not afraid to take risk and make mistakes. And one of the things I think about Dillon Gabriel, and perhaps why Kevin Stefanski likes him so much, is that Dillon Gabriel, he doesn't want to make mistakes. You can see through his play that he doesn't want to throw through those tight windows. He is trying to not fumble, not create turnovers. But when you play like that, I feel like he plays in a timid way or in a very cautious way. And I feel like in this league, if you want to be the spark, if you want to energize your offense, if you want to be able to test the boundaries, you have to be that type of quarterback to be able to test the boundaries, energize, and take some of the risk. Smart risk, though. Smart risk. And I think that this offense is going to get some of that. And I think they have a quarterback who is not afraid to make big plays and afraid to take those risks. And I see that all of this would be a positive for this offense, who haven't had much positives up until now. So I think personnel, being that Shedeur is their quarterback, is going to have some effects of that, and I think is going to be a good effect. So let's jump into what I think about for Shedeur. What are my expectations for Shedeur? So I think there's going to be some mistakes. It's expected. He hasn't had as much, if anything, any opportunity to be able to throw to the first team or work with the first team. This week would have been the only chance he's had to be able to work with the first team players. Let that sink in. We're in week 12. And this would be the first week he's ever had an opportunity to be able to work with the first team. So I think there's going to be some mistakes. I think Shedeur hasn't played ever with the first team. And that's going to naturally, and this is natural, this is not going to be on Shedeur, so let's stop. Naturally, if you have not had any practice throughout the whole entire season, and you're only getting those snaps, and you're only getting those to work with the first team in week 12, there's bound to be some miscues, some misdirections, and a bit of confusion, and that's natural, right? But I expect the offense to know that. I expect the whole team to know that, but I don't think that's what we should be grading him off of, because this is the very first time, okay? I also think that the speed of the game, because Shedeur hasn't played all season really, except for when he came out in the second half of the other game, last week's game, but the speed of the game is going to take him a little bit to get, used to adjust to, and I think those are all positives, because Shedeur to me looks like the type of player, the type of competitor that makes mistakes, but quickly wants to move on from those mistakes, quickly learns from those mistakes, but quickly wants to do better and quickly wants to be able to change the narrative. All right, I had a play where I fumble. Now I want to come in with the play where I get some yards, where I create some opportunities, where I get us down to be able to get a touchdown. So I think he's that type of player that these mistakes are not going to hinder him. It's only going to motivate him. And that's what we want to see especially. And I think some positives about Shedeur for this game is Shedeur is a leader. And I think his type of leadership energizes those around him. It's definitely going to energize this offense. I think it's going to energize the fans. I think if this game were to be in Cleveland, it'd be a completely different game. I think the fans and everyone would be backing Shedeur, all the noise. I think all of that would be in play. But because it's in Las Vegas, there's going to be some Cleveland fans there. I don't think they're going to be making as much noise or to be able to make as much noise to be able to cover the Raiders fans that are there. But I think his leadership is going to energize this team and he will make plays. I also expect to see his accuracy on full display. It's a lot of what I saw when I watched him at Colorado, and I want to see the accuracy. I want to see that dog in him. I want to see that fight. The most sacked quarterback. I want to see how he stands up and takes the next snap, how he stands up and takes the next throw, how he stands up and makes the next game plan to be able to get his team in a better situation. I expect him to take risk, okay? I expect him to take risks that will get his team in a much better winning position. I expect that. I think that taking risk is one of the things that you have to do as a player, but especially as a quarterback. You have to be able to put your team in the position to be able to win. And I think he's going to do that. I also expect that, every time when I watch Shedeur Sanders press conferences, he's smiling. He's enjoying it. It doesn't look like work to him. He's happy. He's just that's natural because every press conference, granted, there are some that he, doesn't look so happy, but he's just happy to be in the moment, happy to be playing. It just feels natural that he loves the game and he just wants to be on the field playing the game. So I expect him to relish this moment and enjoy it and to not take it too seriously because goodness gracious, the Browns are not going to the playoffs. They're not going to have a winning season. So this should not be on him to be able to put the team on his back and do something. I think that's ridiculous too. It's a ridiculous of an ask. And if that's what you're watching this video and thinking, subscribe for more because we're going to talk about it. But overall, I think Shedeur Sanders has a lot of chips on his shoulder, but I think I want him to take it one game at a time because this game is a trial run, right? If he plays well in this game, there's no reason, even if, Dylan Gabriel clears concussion protocol, if Shedeur Sanders plays well in his game, there's no reason to not keep him as the starter. So I want him to take it one game at a time, one snap at a time. I don't want him to play to people's expectations because that's unrealistic since he's only had this week to work with the first team. I want him to play his game. I want to see his poise. I want him to show his leadership. I want him to bring the team together, helping players up. Talking to receivers afterwards and saying, hey, you went this way. My bad. What about next time you run this route instead? And, where can we meet? What did you see on that play? I want there to be that constant communication, that constant leadership, that direction, just that teammate type feel. And he's a star. He's always been under the light. So I don't think this moment is way too big for him at all. His whole family, he's been a star since he was in his teens. Even before that, the cameras have been on him. I don't think this moment changes anything. It's just another game, just another opportunity, which is what he likes to say. And he definitely has the opportunity today. And my final take, and this is my prediction for this game, Browns 32, Las Vegas Raiders 14. I'm not a betting man. I'm not going to start now. But I think if Shedeur gets hot, the offense is going to wake up. The defense is going to close out the game. if Shedeur gets hot, the offense is going to wake up and the defense is going to close out the game. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But I do want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think Shedeur Sanders is going to struggle in this game? Do you think Shedeur Sanders is not ready for this game? Let me know in the comments below. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is what helps me bring you content week after week after week. And of course, I know that there's lots and lots of games going on, but let me know what you want to hear, what videos you want me to make. Put it all in the comments below, wherever it is. Get that subscribe box clicked on and hit the bell notification icon. Thanks for watching The Nekabari Show. My name is Nekabari, and I'll see you in the next one.